Hi guys, it's Josh Lloyd here for your NBA DraftKings first look for Monday. We've got 9 games on. We've got blokes resting all over the place. It's going to be a very, very interesting slate. Before I talk about it though, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell, give it a thumbs up, and drop your comments down below while the show is going on. Let's talk about that first game, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Detroit Pistons. Here's one with guys out. Larry Nance won't play for the Cavs. He is dealing with a personal issue, while the Pistons are just sitting everyone. Jeremy Grant is out. Dennis Smith is out. Corey Joseph is out. Mason Plumlee is out. Wayne Ellington is out. A bunch of these guys resting. So we've got opportunities for big performances coming up. Isaiah Stewart at 5,200. I think we've got to consider him, close to a lock. Now, he's going to be rostered in a lot of spots, but the value is amazing. He had a 51-point game the other day. He's averaging 39 over the last 3, and a 5,200. It's just one of the best ones you can find out there. I think we look at Josh Jackson as a pretty strong play as well for the Pistons, given his role, 5,100 for him. Sadiq Bey's at 53. I'm less interested in Sadiq Bey. He can be quite inconsistent with what he does. So as opposed to Stewart and Jackson, I'm less interested there. And then Killian Hayes at sub 4,000. He's going to be the starting point guard. There's no Joseph. There's no Smith. He dropped 36 in his last game. Sub 4,000 starting point guard who can get you 35 plus, maybe even a 40 if things go right. Yeah, that's cool. I'm in on that one. I think we look at Frank Jackson as well, who's going to get big minutes at 3,200. There's clearly 25-point upside there. On the Cavs side of things, their point guard's been dominating. Darius Garland's putting up huge numbers. He's averaging over 40 in his last 3, over 38 in his last 5. The matchup's a good one, so I like Garland here as well. Kevin Love at 65, I'm not that high on that, and 74 for Colin Sexton's all right, but there are just so many other better options out there. Maybe we could look at Dean Wade back at 4,800, although he was out of the rotation last game, and he's still going to be coming off the bench behind Allen and Love. So probably not as much excitement there. While Tyler Cook, minimum salary Tyler Cook, he's a bloke that you need to know his name a little bit here. There's no Plumlee, there's no Grant, there's no Doumbia. Cook can play the 4, play the 5. Minimum salary guy, not many people will get in on him. Maybe he gives you 18 points. Maybe he gives you 20 points. It's at least something to look at and to pay attention to as a name to throw in there, just as someone that I don't think many people will be tripping all over themselves to go and roster. The next game we take a look at, we've got the Philadelphia 76ers. They are hosting the Golden State Warriors, and yet another game where there's just a bunch of unknowns. The Sixers are listing Tobias Harris, Seth Curry, Dwight Howard, George Hill is questionable. The Sixers are listing Steph Curry and Kelly Oubre is questionable. And I believe the last time these two teams played, both Steph and Seth were both out. And it could be the case again here in this one. We want to look to guys like Furkan Korkmaz if Tobias Harris is out. And if Seth and George Hill are out, we look at guys like Shake Milton to step up, maybe Matisse Thybulle. If Steph is out, man, I don't know. Jordan Poole would probably be the guy that we want to look at there. He's at 4,500. If Oubre is out, Kent Bazemore at 4,600 has some value as well. Looney at 4,000. Oh, that's the other one I didn't mention. Kevon Looney at $4,000 because there's no James Wiseman, there's no Eric Pascal, and now there's no Juan Toscano Anderson. So he was the guy getting those backup center minutes. So Looney's going to have to play high 20s. And at 4,000, he can at least be a 20-point player. I think Joel Embiid's going to absolutely feast here at 10,700, so we really like him. While Steph's at 10.5, and if Steph does play at 10.5, we have to use him really. Like that's how good he is and how well he's been playing. As I mentioned already, Jordan Poole's at 45. Some value there if some of those injury decisions go our way. While Andy Wiggins at 7,000, yeah, maybe if Steph's out, I look at Wiggins because that volume for him will increase, but I don't feel particularly comfortable with it. Well, Draymond Green has historically struggled when Steph has been out, so just keep an eye on that. He's at 7,300, and it feels just a little bit too high for me. Oubre's at 62. We don't know whether he plays. I don't mind that as a flyer in the situation where Oubre does play and Steph is out, but there's always going to be risks associated with Kelly Oubre, given the way that his shooting has gone so far this season. The Bulls and the Celtics is the next game. Of course, Zach LaVine will be out for Chicago, but a couple of interesting injuries on the Boston side. Robert Williams is out. Jaylen Brown is questionable, and Kemba Walker is questionable. Now, if Brown and Walker are out, obviously that's a huge boost to Smart, but someone else has to step up. Is it Romeo Langford? Or is it Peyton Pritchard, who started to step up in the last couple of games? We know Tristan Thompson's going to be a starter and playing big minutes, or bigger minutes, and at 4,700, I'm not completely against using him. And the Bulls, who knows what they do with their big men? Last game, Larry Markkinen played 26 minutes and had 27 points, but he could play under 20. Thad Young's been coming off the bench. Daniel Tice has been starting. Tice starting, I think, is at least worth looking at here. Looking at him as a GPP option to maybe have a 27 or 28 point performance. but I don't feel particularly comfortable with his overall upside or anything along those lines because it's just hard to work out what the Bulls are doing. Kobe White at 5,400 started the last game, shot horribly, 20% from the field, but still had 26 points. And if those shots go in, he can be a 30-point player here. And I like Marcus Smart a lot if Kemba or Jalen are out. There's some big numbers, I think, coming from Marcus Smart there. 9,900 for Nikola Vucevic is probably a little bit on the high side. I'm not super in on it. It can be all right. And the 10,000 for Jason Tatum, well, I do think that's good. And especially if one of Kemba or Jalen goes out, and Tatum's going to put up some pretty good numbers. 4,600 for Patrick Williams. He's going to get the minutes. He's going to get the steals. It's all about bringing the defense. And last game, he brought 26 points, which is 26 total DraftKings points, which is all right. So he can be at least that flyer type in that rotation, but still a lot of unknowns in that matchup. The next game we look at is the Phoenix Suns. They are taking on the Milwaukee Bucks in this one. Phoenix is going to be without the services of Abdul Nadir again. The Bucks are 3-point favorites, and the total is 235 points. McCall Bridges at 4,800. Hasn't been playing particularly well in terms of DFS. I'm not super in on that. 10-6 for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think he'll still be on somewhat of a minutes limit, so I'm not 100% in, but it is against the Suns, and he could play get 50 plus, so not someone to completely write off. 88 for Devin Booker. Now, Booker's recent games haven't been great. 27 minutes a night, 27 fantasy points per game. It's not great. I do think there is a good opportunity for him here to have a big one. And then 79 for Chris Paul. Again, you're sort of bucking their recent trends of production. Chris Middleton at 8,200 has been a 40-point player, but I don't feel particularly confident in using him, nor do I with Brook Lopez. Well, Ayton at 68 looks all right, but I think we can probably do a little bit better. Not all that keen on Drew Holiday in that one either, to be honest. The Houston Rockets are coming in here on a back-to-back, and they are taking on the Miami Heat, who are also coming into this one on a back-to-back. Jimmy Butler did not play on Sunday, neither did John Wall. I expect Wall to be back because he sat because of the back-to-back. Whether Butler plays or not is still a question mark, though. Bam Adebayo's at 8,100. We love using Bam whenever Butler is out, so just keep that in mind. If Butler is out, we love Adebayo at that price. Well, Goran Dragic had a big performance, 41 points on Sunday. I don't fully buy into that, but he's at least a GPP guy. But there's also a chance that Dragic rests in this game. I like the 4,300 for Kendrick Nunn, and that would be further amplified if Dragic is out. While Christian Wood at 8,600, he's playing much better at the moment, so I do like that for him. And we have to like what Kelly Olynyk's doing on a almost game-by-game basis now. He's at 6,900, which is a lot, but he's giving us 35 pretty much every night. Dwayne Dedmon's a minimum salary player. He had 23 points on Monday, taking the minutes away from Precious Achiuwa. Do I believe that he can be a double-double guy in 15 minutes? Absolutely not. But at minimum salary, could he be of use? Yeah, potentially. I don't think it's something to completely write off. Well, Kevin Porter's at 7,000, fouled out on Sunday, and the fit with Wall has been clunky at times. I don't think I'd want to use him at $7,000 personally. The San Antonio Spurs against the Indiana Pacers in this one. It is a back-to-back for Indiana. Miles Turner returned on Sunday. For the first time this season, didn't have a block, so that was not ideal. But will he even play in the back-to-back? I guess that's the question. Mills, DeRozan, and Poeltl, they all rested in the last game. They'll all be back in this one. DeMar's at 8,000, so I do like using DeMar DeRozan at that $8,000 salary in his return. Poeltl's at 6,200, feels a little bit too high for me, while DeJounte Murray at 73. Also, you're probably verging on the high side. It was a poor performance from Karis LeVert on Sunday. He's at 7,500. I would be okay with moving back onto LeVert. I don't think that 24-point in 24-minute game from Sunday is representative of what he can do. While Sabonis at 9,400, I do think makes a bit of sense against this Spurs team. Not interested in Derek White in this one, nor in Keldon Johnson. While Brogdon at 7,600, I think he's still underpriced, and that makes him a pretty good option to me. The next game, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they are on a back-to-back up against the Washington Wizards. The Thunder, we know they're in full tank mode. The Wizards are 11-point favorites. The total's 230. Rui Hachimura is out. Alex Len is questionable. Dan Gafford's at 4,000. And let's hope that Scott Brooks comes to the party and plays him over 20 minutes a night. I still like using him regardless, and I like using Russell Westbrook at 11,000. Some really strong value for those guys. And with Hachimura out, Bertans should start and should play more than 24 minutes. And at 4,300, there's clear 30-point upside here for Bertans. 9,200 for Brad Beal. Yep, I'm okay with using him. He's sort of got his groove back at the moment. While Moses Brown at 62 is always a little bit of a risky option. And Pokusevski at 5,500 also is quite risky. Big game on Sunday, but is he able to replicate that? I'd be doubtful. The other doubtful thing I have is whether Lou Dort plays. Now, Dort is on an absolutely scorching hot streak at the moment. Whether I don't think it can continue, but I also think there's a real risk he doesn't play here. He is at 7,000, and his recent production is beating that number really consistently. I don't fully trust it, but I also don't hate using him here as a flyer option. Next game is Memphis and Denver. Memphis, they're going to be without Jonas Valanciunas. The Nuggets are going to be without Monty Morris, who was replacing Jamal Murray. Nuggets 5-point favorites, total 228. Xavier Tillman, 3,400 for Tillman. Now, foul trouble against Jokic can be a real problem, but at 3,400, I think we got to look at him. And I do like PJ Dozier, who's going to get extra run as well without Monty Morris at 3,600. Jokic is at 11. Yeah, I think he'll put up some really big numbers in this one. This looks good there for him. While Brandon Clark, Justice Winslow, DeAnthony Melton, and Dylan Brooks are all listed as questionable. So working out how that works out at this stage is pretty tough to do. I like Faku at 4,700. I like Maga Porter Jr. at 7,700. There is some good value there in him. And Barton at 59 has been underperforming for sure, but at least there is some upside value in Barton. I don't mind Moran at 72, but he has been playing at a relatively poor level, averaging just 31 over the last 5. But I think this is an opportunity, hopefully, for him to get back on track. Let's hope anyway. The next game we take a look at is the last game of the night. It is the Utah Jazz taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. Still no Anthony Davis for the Lakers. The Jazz are 5-point favorites. The total is 216. Gobert and Conley, they rested last game. They're probable, while Derek Favors is questionable. If Favors is out, maybe Ersan Ilyasova is in the rotation, but he is also questionable. Gobert's at 8,100. I feel like he's going to be able to put up some pretty big numbers in this one, so I do like him. While Conley at 7,000 without Don Mitchell, I think there is a real opportunity for him to have some good numbers. Drummond at 71. He's done all right against the Jazz. He's actually averaging 47 points the last 3 times against Gobert. So I think he's at least worth a flyer, while Schroeder at 6,600 looks pretty good. He's going to get so many opportunities with all those injuries. Kuzma at 65, a strong fade. 49 for Markieff Morris, no thank you. And then Bojan Bogdanovic at 5,800. I like Bogdanovic's increased role with Mitchell out, so he does become an option for us here. If we have a look across the whole slate of games where the value lies, we look at guys like Tillman, Dozier, Isaiah Stewart, Josh Jackson, Sadiq Bey, Jokic, Hayes, Looney, Gafford, Adebayo, Westbrook, Bertans, Tristan Thompson, Kendrick Nunn, Joel Embiid, Gianni Antetokounmpo, Rudy Gobert, and maybe even Tobias Harris. Guys, that'll do it for me today. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you can find my channel too in the title and in the description, Josh Lloyd Fantasy Basketball. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. See ya.